All right. Hey, everyone. I'm here with Ron Pippin. Hey, Ron.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Jennifer.
And
Yeah.
Ron is the branch manager of the Pippin team, which is a mortgage. Is it a brokerage or
No, we're a lender.
you're a lender? Okay. At Cardinal Financial. And he also does the podcast Realtor versus Lender. And so that's what we're doing today.
Yeah, awesome.
So we wanted to talk about how can agents consistently drive business? And we were just chatting, and like the mortgage industry and the real estate industry is very similar in that. So what are you seeing, Ron? What are like some of the tips and tricks of the trade for you guys?
Well, we always we depend on realtors a lot.
Yeah,
A realtor doesn't want to hear that, but the reason why we do that is because um, when people are looking for a house, they go looking for a house. They don't go looking for a mortgage. So,
right,
like if I go and look for a car, I don't go to my bank and go, "Hey, how much a car can I buy?" It's just like I go looking at cars. I look online,
right.
So and it's the same thing when you're buying a house. It's just like, well, what kind of house can I buy? What does it look like? So they're dreaming. And so
Yeah.
realtors get far more leads than a mortgage officer does, which is why I partner with some of my agents that I work with, and we partner and do some marketing together.
Hmm.
Um, but apart from that, that doesn't help you as a realtor as to what to do. So one of the things, if you haven't been in the industry for a long time, I think that your SOI, and for those of you that don't know what that's your sphere of influence, is
Right.
one of the best ways that uh, you can generate business. And it's not like I'm not trying to be like MLM-ish. Nothing against MLM. I have a daughter that's in MLM, and she does well. And but it's not like going up to all of your family and friends and saying, "Hey, you want to buy? Hey, you want to
Right.
buy? You want to buy?"
I mean, you could.
Yeah, you could, but after a while it gets old.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so you don't want to do that. But I also have a friend that does nothing. He does no other marketing but to his past clients and his sphere of influence, and he kills it. I mean, he just kills it.
I mean, I think like that you have a basic, when you first enter the business, you have a basic decision that you need to make. And it's like, do I want to start with talking to people I know and talking to people I don't know? And I agree with you. I think most people start with the people that they know. For myself, when I started with the people I don't know because sometimes it's like even though as a real estate agent we can get referrals and things, so we can, if we're from out of town, we can still start with the people that we know. It just doesn't really feel the same as like when all the people that you know are local versus not local, you know?
Sure. I mean, as a real estate, as a lender, yeah, I can lend just about anywhere, and that
You
works.
can do in all states.
Yeah, I can.
Nice, good to know.
Yeah, good to know, huh? but I think it's a little different animal for a realtor, and if you're not marketing local, and I think it's harder because it's harder to get the listings because you're not there. It's harder to obviously show homes unless you have a team or you're doing referrals to somebody else.
Hmm.
I think I just think, okay, I have a coach that told me one day, because he found out I wasn't marketing to my database.
Yeah.
One, people that don't market to their past database just don't like money. And I started to laugh just like that. I started to laugh, and he just said, if you look at your past database or your sphere of influence, I think it's the real estate, the NAR.
Hmm.
They will tell you that people move. So maybe you're better. Maybe you can tell me, how often did they tell you that people move? How often do
Well,
people
I
move?
think it used to be every 5 to 7 years, but now it's gone up to like 9.
Okay, let's say 10. Let's say 10.
No, let's say 5.
Okay, let's say 5. But I was going to use 10 because it's a smaller number. But either way, you can do the numbers either way. So if you want to use 5, and let's say you have 200 people on your list, that means, and if they move every 5 years,
Right.
that's like 20% of your database.
Yeah. Right.
Every
Exactly.
10 years, it's like 10%, or but it's a big number.
Yeah.
And if you have 200 people, and let's say 10% of your database are moving on any given year, there's 20 opportunities to sell a home or to list a home.
And all you have to do is like communicate with them. I mean, I agree with you. I think,
Yeah,
a
totally.
lot of agents start that way for sure. But you had said something about unless you're like referring, and I think a lot of agents do miss that as an opportunity, because we sell houses all over, but it's not because, I mean, I'm only licensed in Kentucky and Ohio, but like my grandma wanted to buy a house in North Carolina. My friend wanted to buy one in New York. And honestly, those price points are better than Cincinnati.
Totally.
And yeah, and not only that, I mean, I was able to travel the world and still work because I can be on the phone and setting appointments, and you can set them with people you know or people you don't know, and referring those out to other agents. Like, it's just, for me, it's like a better quality of life if you can figure out that piece of it, for sure. That lead generation.
Yeah, sure.
piece.
You don't want to miss that piece of it.
No.
I can lend in any state, and it makes it really nice, actually, because
Yeah.
when I have a client base that moves somewhere, it's just like, hey, I can still help you. Oh, you can? Great, let's do it.
Right.
But as a realtor, it's not like, oh yeah, I can go show you a house in Alaska.
No, but what we do is, what I do for my friends is say, like, so for example, just say my friend well, my grandma was the most recent. It was just, I think last month. So she wanted to buy a house in North Carolina. Obviously, I'm not licensed there. And I said, no problem. What I'll do is I will look at the agents in my network. I'll interview them. I'll choose 2. Then you can interview both of them and decide who you like. So it takes a lot of that work out. And then you can also charge, I mean, whatever, depending on how involved you're going to be,
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, so those referral fees, they can, especially when you go to really higher price points like you were mentioning, it's just they can be pretty significant. So,
Right.
Yeah, so you're right. Do not overlook that part of the
Because
business.
that referral fee was the same amount as our like average.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Like, I would just rather do that.
And a lot of people just don't miss that. It's just like, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't want licensed in New York. I can't help you. It's just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's just New York, you're talking millions of dollars for a home, and
Right.
not a home. It's just like, that's just a normal price point for those
It
guys.
is.
And you get I don't know what your splits are, but it doesn't matter what the split is. You're going to get a split.
Yeah, it's a lot. And you can even do it like internationally. I mean, we're at the XP and we're international, but there are tons of companies that are also international, or you don't even have to use your own company. I mean, there are times that I'll refer outside. It just depends on who the best agent is for that, for my
Sure.
friends and family,
Yeah, and what's nice is you also, and then once you start doing that, people that you have referred to and the agents, they're going to they're going to say, oh yeah, Utah, or I'm sorry, you're in North Carolina?
Ohio.
Ohio. I knew it later. I mean, I only got 50 of them to go through, right?
Yeah, that's
so
for
if you're in
sure.
Ohio, they'll go, I've got a client in Ohio, Jennifer, let's talk to her.
But it's also even keeping up with those people, right? So like, I think what a lot of people miss inside of driving consistent business is that they don't consistently lead generate. So it doesn't matter, however you want to do it, like pick your way. And we actually did a podcast about this on our toe-to-toe podcast, was pick one way, stick with it for a defined period of time, do it to its full potential before you make a switch. So many people will be like, well, I'm going to call for sale by owners, and they call one, and the one that they called was mean to them. And they're like, well, I'm not going to call again. And you're like, okay. I mean, okay. So it's like just keep in mind, like the consistency with which you generate is like exactly equal to the consistency with which you get paid. So if
Yeah,
you're not getting paid, you're likely not generating.
yeah, that is so profound. In my coaching and mastermind group, we call it building bridges.
Yeah.
And when you start building a bridge, the problem that most of us have, as salespeople, we're like, squirrel, oh, another one, oh,
Right.
next shiny object. We're trying to build. You start all these bridges. The problem
Yeah.
is you never finish one.
Right. So you can't ever get across.
Right, exactly. You can't get across that bridge because you
Right.
don't finish it. And it's not that it doesn't that bridge didn't work. It's that you didn't finish the bridge.
Right.
So you can't do everything all at once. You got to get, just like you were mentioning, you've got to be consistent, build that bridge, start generating some income from it, and then move to the next concept. There's not going to be
Yeah.
of lack of concepts or lack of ways to generate business. It's
No,
just
there's
like,
a billion ways to do it. I mean, that's exactly what both of our
choose
podcasts are
one.
about, right?
Yeah, choose one. Just like you said, choose one. And you know what? The way I do it may be different than the way you want to do it, but it doesn't mean either one of them are wrong. It's just they're both different. They both work, but you have
Yeah.
to. So
I
that's
think in choosing one too, it's more about like what authentically feels like you, right? Like, so like
right.
I like lead generating through the phone. Like I am an inside salesperson. So like for me, if I try to like, if I'm like, okay, I heard this podcast or I like went to this thing and they said like networking is the way. So like I'm gonna go network. It won't work because I hate doing it. So,
Oh
well, now
yeah,
you can't. But like I hate doing it and I just feel weird and I think it's like inefficient and blah 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 blah, like all this stuff. So it's like, okay, that's not gonna work. So don't do that. And if you think like if you're more of a networker, then maybe cold calling will not work. But if you're a networker, then figure out, and this is like the second point I wanted to hit home on was figure out your numbers. So like I know if I talk to 30 people, I will generate a sale. Now, how would I know that? I would only know that because I have to track and measure, and you have to track and measure every day. So if you're a networker, how many networking events do you need to go to? How many people do you need to talk how many do you need to go to talk to the amount of people that you need to get a deal, right?
right. And you're right. And only way to know that is to track those numbers. Now, so what you said at 30, is that what you said? You need
Yeah,
to do 30 phone calls to generate a
yeah,
deal. Somebody might be better, but somebody may be worse.
right.
And it's not that
It
anybody,
depends on who you're calling too.
yeah, it depends on your
My number for circle prospecting is like 50.
yeah, yeah. So if you're cold call prospecting, your numbers are going to be far worse than if you're going to some warm list, your
Right,
past clients or somebody that
right.
the numbers are just going to be different. So don't be discouraged over, well, Jennifer said she's getting one out of every 30.
No,
Well,
you just got to track your numbers.
right, that's Jennifer's number. That's not your numbers.
Right. Everybody's numbers are different. And so like my recommendation is to track it every day for a month, and see what the numbers are. Or at least until you get a deal. So track it every day until you get a deal. If you get a deal on the second day and you've talked to say 40 people, great. Now try to repeat it, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Then at least you have a bar. You go,
Right, right.
okay, I got to talk to 40. Let's hit 40 more.
Well,
You
and
know,
the thing is what I find like what was my aha moment, and this happened like more than 10 years ago when I first started in real estate, but it was like, okay, I started to track and measure because I had a coach and they were like, you have to track. Actually, Monica, my podcast, Monica Weekly, she's the one that gave me my first tracking board. And she's like, move the magnet. You have to talk to 30 people. And she's like, came and checked on me all the time. So it was like, okay, after I did that, then there were days where I just didn't really feel like it, but maybe I was like only 3 away from my 30. But see, if I wasn't tracking them, I would have stopped. But because I was tracking them, I was like, well, I'm not really getting anywhere. I don't really feel like it, but I only have 3 more left. Guaranteed, like every single time I would get one after making those 3 calls. It was crazy. It was like every time. I was like, this is nuts. And so now I'm like excited to make the calls. I'm like, all I need to do instead of I have to. It's changing the language, right? It's like all I need to do because now I'm excited to do it.
You know, that's life altering.
Yes.
Is to know that if you do a certain activity, whether it's phone calls, whether it's emails, whether it's
whatever it is. Yeah.
Whatever it is. If you do a specific activity and you do this much of it, you're going to generate a deal. And
right.
then, oh, that's my goal for today is to do many, and I'm going to come away with a deal.
Yeah.
And don't be discouraged if it goes a little over. I mean, so your normal is 30, but one day it may take 35. And
that's okay. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But now it's just like, woo, I got to go do this, and I'm going to walk away, and then I'm going to go do something else.
Yeah, and then I get to have money. So like it could be anything. It could be open houses. It could be networking. It could be phone calls. It could be letters. It could be door knocking. Like there's literally, like you said, like a million ways. And so I think like the key to driving business, which is the main question, to driving consistent business is to consistently talk to people that potentially could do business with you. Like that's it. Totally. It is exactly what the question is. The answer is in the question. Yep. I feel like Buddha. We should. But it is. It's like be consistent and track your numbers. And that's like pretty much it. I mean, is there anything else that you can think of, Ron?
You know, that's really the main thing right there. So
yeah.
As I started off talking about your past clients or your database or your SOI.
Yeah.
That's one way.
That's one way. Yeah.
That's one way. So whatever it is you're doing, you just need to know it's like watching Shark Tank.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the thing they always talk about. Know your numbers.
Know your numbers.
If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business.
Well, you don't have a business. I mean, how many businesses do you know that do not have a profit and loss statement that are traded that are considered businesses? Like none.
No. And I'm going to go back to Shark Tank. It's just like they always say, you don't have a business, you have a hobby.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is if you don't know your numbers. And the first numbers you need to know are how many people did you actually have a conversation with about real estate? How many appointments out of those conversations, how many appointments did you set? And then how many deals did you get from those appointments? If you can track those 3 numbers for a few months, you will have your numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And now you know your bar. And now it's like, okay, and this will probably be for another podcast, but now it's like, now what do you tweak?
Yeah.
Numbers better, you know, scripts.
Yeah.
Is or whatever it is you tweak, but now you have your bar set and you can get better.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have to continually track that too. But
But
you
always have to track. I mean, it's a budget, right? Like if you don't want to be in debt, then you track the money that you spend. If you want to be in debt, then you don't track it. So if it's the same with getting paid. If you want to get paid, then you track it. If you don't want to get paid, don't track it.
Right.
It's simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Should we just stop here?
I think we're done. Well, that was so fun. So Realtor versus Lender podcast and Toe to Toe podcast. And Ron with Cardinal Financial can do all 50 states. And then I'm Jen Murtland, your real estate coach and doing business in Ohio and Kentucky. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Ron. I really appreciate you.
Thanks, Jennifer. I appreciate you having me on today.
Yeah, and the next podcast, if people want to listen, we are going to do, how to manage and leverage your time. I mean, that's huge. So now you're doing business. Now what, right?
Right.
Awesome. Well, stay tuned for that.
Right.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Jennifer.
See ya.
Okay, bye-bye.